lost.
Okay, for me it's showing ready to go. We are live
Uh,
already.
hello, Neeta. Hello, everyone, whoever have joined. Welcome to another engaging session of LinkedIn Live and YouTube as well. So, this is Jyoti, the host for the day, and we have Neeta, the co host, as well. Now, we are diving into a topic that touches each and every one of us, how emotions impact our lives. So, emotions are basically part of the human experiences, influencing our thoughts, actions, and relationships. Whether it's personal achievement or the stress of a challenging situation, emotions plays a pivotal role in our daily lives. So, understanding how they affect us is the first step in understanding the power that it can bring to our personal and professional growth. So, during today's discussion, we will explore the profound impact of emotions on our decision making, relationship, and overall well being. So, I have with me Neeta, who is my friend, a certified life coach with 14 plus years of experience, and an accomplished author. Her passion lies in helping individuals uncover their purpose, elevate self value, nurture self care, and silence that relentless inner critic. So she's an author of the Lion Boy, which is based on her own son. So Nita, a little introduction from you.
Thank you so much, Jyoti, for the wonderful introduction. And I think we should congratulate each other, first of all, because together we have jointly done this fifth episode successfully and with giving meaningful conversations, insights to people. So let's congratulate both of us on that. And then moving on, yes, as you've already mentioned about my book, The Lion Boy, and it quite resonates with me because the topic that we are going to speak about today and what I have written in my book is something that I have personally experienced and I have gone through that journey. So I know what havoc emotions can play if you are not channelizing them properly. And once you channelize them, how they can help you to move on to be a better person in your life. So it's going to be a very interesting topic. So let's get going, Jyoti.
Yes, and just to let you know, guys, we have a very wonderful guest today, and it's a surprise visit by Shabir Merchant. So he will be joining us anytime now. We are just waiting for him.
Jyoti, till the time Shabir joins us, why don't you tell the audience about your book that you have launched?
Oh, yeah, sure. Guys, I'm an author of book that got launched 6th of this month itself. And it is about building lasting relationship. How our emotions and whatever is happening in our life impact us, and how can we take charge of our own life, our own relationship, instead of playing the blame game. Because whatever it has to be with you, your happiness has to be with you and no one else. No one is in charge of your happiness. So that's all my book is all about. And it is already on Amazon. You can go visit or just give me a call, anything. Okay. So Nita, before we start, I just want to know a little bit about, we are talking about emotions and how it is impacting our lives. So can you just share an example from your own life where heightened emotion had a significant impact on your choices?
Uh, wow, yes, definitely. Because a lot of times there were situations when I used to literally feel this fear, creeping down my feet and my hands literally shivering and my mind going numb trying to figure out what is it that I can do, what is it that I can do. And I also knew that I can't go around asking help for people in this situation. So it took me, I would say, a huge amount of patience and a lot of thinking. I wouldn't say calm thinking because it wasn't calm thinking any which ways, but yes, I tried to structure things to the best of my ability that I could. And then I took the next step. One good thing I would say, and I really like that about myself, is that I always thought of the consequences. If I do this, then what's going to happen if I do this, then. So I had these multiple things, that these could be the outcome, so which is the one that I can go ahead with. So yeah, that's how I used to work on the situations and manage them.
So, Neeta, must have been situation when we are talking about the pros and cons, what can go wrong, what is good, right? So, looking at the pros, we proceed to make a decision and proceed from there. But looking at the cons, how does that impact us? Like the
Okay,
emotions and all.
so we are an ocean of motion. Our human beings are emotions, oceans of emotions. So when you are not trying to express these emotions, when you're constantly challenging these emotions, and you're trying to tell yourself that everything is fine, when you know inside you're fighting so many battles, when that happens, over a period of time, you realize you are constantly falling sick. you know you get all these illnesses, your recovery is getting delayed. you know and at the same time, you will see same people of your age who are very bubbly, who are very healthy, who are never complaining, who are ever smiling, and you're wondering, why is that happening to them and why is this happening to me. So it all starts with the way you are expressing, channelizing your emotions. And if you're not going to express, then a burden is going to be on your body. Your body will have to bear the burden of all your sickness.
Mhm.
So those are the biggest cons, I think so.
Correct. So, Neeta, basically, when we talk about emotions, right? So, emotions doesn't have to do something with our loved ones or the outside situations, I can say. There are emotions when we are actually fighting with ourselves. We need to take a decision whether we should go about it or we should not go about it. There are societal pressure, and there are a lot of, free advice that is roaming around in the market. So that is something. Yeah, so I when I personally, when I get into that situation wherein I need to fight with myself whether I should take this decision or not, I take a moment of pause, spend 5 minutes with yourself, or you have a thought, what should I do about it? If you are not sure, just sleep over it. That's the best thing that I've done. Sleep over it
Hmm.
and send a signal to the universe. I think this is what I think I should do, but I'm not sure
Hmm.
about it. Just show me a way and just sleep over it.
Hmm.
After,
Yeah,
once you get up, you will get some or the other signal that whether you should go this way or that way. So, do you resonate
absolutely.
with that?
Absolutely, I do. There are times when you feel completely lost, you feel completely fatigued out. I would say that is the word.
Correct.
Mentally, you're so fatigued out that you just don't know, and even if there is a ray of hope, even there is a slight glimmer of hope, because you're so fatigued out, you can't see anything in that clutter
Mhm.
that's happening. So sometimes it's always better to just sit down, take that moment, like you said, probably go to sleep, watch TV, just leave that worry or whatever that is, trouble
Mhm.
that's there in your life. Leave
Mhm.
it for some time and then try to focus on something else, and you will definitely come up with something. Because one thing is there for sure, no matter how many problems are there is always a solution. There's always a solution, no matter how tough the challenge is. It's just about a matter of perspective and a matter of patience, I feel.
Correct. So, patience is the virtue.
Absolutely, yes. Today I understand the value of it, to be very honest.
Yes. So it said that, I always realize that things will automatically come to me because I have patience. People give up because they don't have patience, right? So results,
Hmm,
definitely,
hmm,
when we talk about our emotions, we get so much attached with the results that we don't look at, as you rightly highlighted, the positives. What can happen? What
hmm,
if? What if?
hmm,
What if? So people
hmm,
do tend to get into the negative zone 80%
hmm.
of the times.
Absolutely.
What can happen? What can happen if I do this?
True.
But they are
Hmm,
attaching the results to that. If we are not attaching
hmm,
the results to that, definitely
hmm.
will impact, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I think the pressure of the outcome is so much in the mind, you know. I think it's more important to enjoy the journey actually. The journey has to be of the most importance, and how we are going in that journey, you have to enjoy that process of learning, growing, falling down, failing, and then getting up and moving ahead. And eventually you are bound to move towards success, because every day, no matter how big or small, you are taking certain action steps for it.
Mhm.
But if you're going to constantly think, what if
What will
and
be done?
how,
Yes.
what if and how, then, no matter how talented or knowledgeable or educated you are bound to fail,
Hmm.
because the you are already under pressure to achieve your goal or work towards it. And the second pressure is, what if, this, like you
Correct.
rightly mentioned, the society pressure, the friends pressure. So if you fail, then what are the people going to judge you as? And the
Hmm.
result, is it going to work, is it not going to work?
Hmm.
So the moment you have, what do I say, you are delusional about your outcomes, I don't think so it's really going to work for you. So you have to be very, I would say, honest with yourself, and
Correct.
have a lot of faith and belief, because we have discussed this a number of times. Our mind and also our conditioning, the way we are brought up, we are always told to safeguard, our
Hmm.
surroundings, our thoughts, our work. So that safeguarding at times becomes pretty suffocating, because that doesn't allow you to fly free. And because we are not allowed to fly free, our mind will constantly try to put us in protected states. Do this, this is convenient for you. Do this, this is comfortable for you. Why do you want to go there? And I
Hmm.
think this is one major reason which stops people from moving ahead and getting the results that they want.
And then when we talk about our own emotions, when we are abiding by the emotions, what we want to do, it is often considered as a revolt against, you are going against the societal norms, you are going against the family. So I can cite an interesting example. When I decided to
Sure.
take up law as my career, against the societal like my family norms, everyone is a doctor. My grandpa, my father, my sister, everyone is doctor. When I
Right.
took that decision out of emotions, that was completely my decision. I wanted to do something. And that's when everyone said that you are and antisocial. That was a term I remember. So
Right.
I was
Right.
antisocial, and that's how people label it to you, to your name, and when we talk about, when we were in college days, so there everyone has a plan B. But now that we have a deeper understanding of how things
Hmm.
work, you should have
Hmm.
patience. Results will not
Hmm.
come overnight. You have to put in
Right.
your efforts, energy, resources, everything,
Right.
if you
Right.
actually
Right.
definitely want anything. So that is something,
Right.
uh, at this point in time, right now, I don't think of
Hmm.
plan B. But when we talk
Hmm.
about in the until 30s, we always had a plan B.
Right.
So what do you
Absolutely.
think about plan B?
I think plan B is the worst thing to have, because then you always have something to rely on, and then you are not giving your 100% to the
Correct.
actual plan A goal. Because you are in your mind, in your subconscious, you've already thought that if this doesn't work, I can always move on to this one. And
Correct.
that's the reason your, that passion with which you want to do that plan A,
Mhm.
that emotion which you want to actually put into that,
Correct.
it people won't see through it,
Yes.
like you and me are talking today, we are doing hosting these talks today. What is our intention and what is our purpose? Our intention and purpose is that when we are sharing our stories, because these things are something that you and me have experienced in our lives, we have
Mhm.
learned, but we have also learned how to come out of it and grow, and
Mhm.
use even those failures as a
Mhm.
part of our stepping stones, like what
Mhm.
are the things that you can avoid basically.
Mhm.
So I don't think so you should ever have plan B. A lot of people might not agree, but I think plan B is not necessary.
Correct. People say that if plan B doesn't succeed, you should have a plan. Plan A doesn't succeed, you should have a plan B. But
Hmm.
if you have plan B, as rightly said, you are not putting your 100% on plan A. You
Hmm.
already have
Hmm.
something at the back of your mind that if this doesn't work, I'll go this way. So that is an
Hmm.
alternative to your dreams. And there cannot be
Yeah.
any alternative to your dreams and your
To the
passion.
dreams, yes.
Correct.
Absolutely. I think the only plan B, what they can work is, I feel, is creating a great source of money, which that you should be able to survive for the next, whatever period of time,
Period.
let's say 6 months or 1 year, so that it doesn't distract you from your plan A.
Correct.
And
Exactly. Yes.
that's the only thing that should be there. That's it. Because see,
Wow.
of course, we have to take into consideration that there are people who might, I mean, we are just not speaking here about single people. There might be people who have to support their families, parents and spouses and kids. So taking all those facts into consideration, I think this only needs to be a plan B. That's it.
Correct. So, Neeta rightly described. I think stress somewhere or the other makes an important part while taking these decisions, be it emotionally or when emotion comes, intelligence goes low. That's a post that I
Hmm.
created today. When
Hmm.
emotions are high, intelligence like is zeroed out. So you
Right,
have
right.
to be very intelligent with what you want to do, what
Hmm.
benefit it will bring to you. But at the same time,
Hmm.
if you are taking that emotional decision, most of the
Hmm.
times there are stress that plays an important part. So what do you think, what role does stress play in emotional impact on our lives, and how can we manage it? About
So
stress.
glad you asked that question. I should actually be asking you, why do you think people have stress in their lives? What is a major factor that causes stress? Tell me.
Because people think a lot. If this
Also,
thinking exists.
overthinking. Okay.
Yes, overthinking,
Overthinking.
and they are totally dependent, as we talked about, they are totally dependent on the results. Okay, your focus is
Hmm.
not on the efforts that you will be putting in there, resources that you will be deploying there, but what will happen? What will happen? And that creates the stress. I am stress free today. Tomorrow, what will happen? I don't bother. Enjoy the
Hmm.
day. So be in the moment is of utmost importance. If you
Hmm.
are able to convince yourself that whatever you are today, you are happy about it, you love the
Hmm.
person you see in the mirror, that's when stress is
Hmm.
zeroed out.
Okay. So, the major cause of stress these days is because when people set out tasks for themselves, you know, they are not following it through. They know they have not given their 100% to the task. So now
Correct.
let's see, maybe as entrepreneurs we are setting tasks for ourselves. Okay, so out of say 6 tasks, I have completed four tasks. Okay, now the fifth and the sixth I couldn't complete because I had other work to do, right? So I'm just trying to justify, okay, fine, I couldn't do it. Now let's say you are in an office and you have been given 3 tasks and you have not been completed to any of those, all 3 of them are incomplete.
Mhm.
Now what is going to cause stress in this case is that I was given a task, I was given a deadline, but I haven't done it.
Mhm.
So you are going to sleep in stress as well, not only live in stress, you're also going to sleep in stress.
Correct.
So every time when you are not listening and doing things that you tell to yourself, you are giving a signal to your subconscious mind that I am not keeping my words with myself.
Mhm.
I am not living up to my own expectations.
Mhm.
And this is a major cause of stress, you know.
Mhm.
And your subconscious mind starts building up this belief that this person is always talking but not taking any action.
Correct. Mhm.
Okay, and that starts showing up in your behavior when people tend to get nervous,
Mhm.
when people are, they have these sweaty palms,
Mhm.
and they are like, I'll do it, sir, I can submit it by tomorrow. So
Mhm.
these are all the, you can read it in their behavior that
Correct.
this is
Body
how
language.
it's operating. Absolutely, yes. So
Mhm.
that's the major and the
Most
major
important.
cause of stress. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
And basically, Anita, as I said, uh, people are not very much into meditation these days, right? They don't know how to do meditation. So, meditation is a different thing altogether, but being mindful of what you are doing, that is important. So, if you are
Hmm.
mindful of your actions, whatever emotions that you have right now, and you
Hmm.
are not
Hmm.
suppressing it, that's when things
Hmm.
started to evolve.
Absolutely. Yes, you absolutely said it right.
Correct. So, Neeta, any strategies that you would like to share with our viewers? What are the strategies that we should have?
See, okay. Uh, I'm going to talk a little bit about my book now. Okay, because I have learned it through my own experience. It's not something that, I have studied, but what I have learned is that when I was handling my son, he had a lot of emotional challenges in terms of, he's a type 1 diabetic from the age of 4. Okay. So for him, firstly, to come to terms that he has to give up on a lot of his favorite food was a big challenge. Okay.
Mhm.
And you know how children love
Correct.
their favorite foods, and they
Mhm.
want to eat it not just once but the second time and the third time, especially if they're going out for parties.
Mhm.
uh, so that was one challenge that I had to face, because everywhere it was just me and him.
Mhm.
So the image of mother in his mind was
Mhm.
very different. Okay.
Mhm.
The second challenge that I faced was because I had to give him insulin shots and check his sugar levels as well.
Mhm.
So, usually children start crying out with just one injections that they have to take. So here he was almost, taking like three injections in a day. And apart from that, the finger pricks for checking the sugar levels.
Mhm.
So all this was adding to his irritation a lot. And the third challenge that I faced was, him getting bullied by children.
Mhm.
So his personality completely shrunk. So he got very enclosed. He went into a shell.
Mhm.
And I already was dealing with this, my household work, and my second child,
Okay.
who was about 1.5 years old then. Okay.
Okay.
So for me, it was too much to handle, to be very honest. Extremely bogged down, I would feel. But the only thing that I thought is, if I cannot be patient, I cannot expect my son to come out of this. Okay.
Correct.
So I had to stop reacting. I had to build up patience, Jyoti, and a huge amount of patience I had to build, to sit and listen him patiently and then explain it to him in his language, you know, what you should do to make this work for you. What is it that you can do and why you are having so many restrictions. So the reasoning part became challenging for me, but I had to figure a way out where
Mhm.
he would understand why this is life threatening if I go beyond a certain. So when I went through these challenges, I realized in that entire journey that patience played a huge role.
Mhm.
Parent child role model played a huge role, in the sense like if I wanted him to read, it started with me. Okay.
Mhm.
So when I start reading, he starts reading,
Role model.
because children copy what parents do.
Mhm.
Okay. So and also I realized the power of communication, like
Mhm.
how you talk to your child.
Mhm.
You can't say that, I don't have the time now, come back
Mhm.
later. I'm really fed up of your tantrums. Every day something or the other is happening to you.
Mhm.
We have to put ourselves in that person's shoes and think, if this was happening with me, how would
Mhm.
I feel? So
Mhm.
that the power of empathy has to be really strong over there. So similarly, today when I speak to my prospects also, when they come with me on the call, I try to put myself into their shoes and see, how would I feel as a person, and then what are the steps I would do to get
Mhm.
out of it.
Correct.
Okay, so I think that is where I think in this entire story, Jyoti, I feel patience comes number one,
Mhm.
communication comes at number two, and the handling skills come at number three. So yes, huge amount of patience. And then I was not meditating at that point of time. Let me be very honest. I
Mhm.
was just like, I
Mhm.
just want to see him live happily. That was my only goal, and
Correct.
that's what today I see him doing that. So yeah,
Correct. So, as rightly said by Unita, you have to be the role model for your children. And if you
absolutely.
would not have been patient, you would not have been reading and taking care of these stuffs. We have seen him recently, yeah, last to last week, and he's such a nice
Yes, yes.
person. So, definitely, your efforts
True,
have,
true.
yeah, are seen by
Yes,
everyone and by the child as well. So that's very important.
yes.
When we talk
Right.
about we are working somewhere, maybe we are job professionals or we are entrepreneurs or anything, when we talk about we have spent considerable amount of time, maybe 10 hours or 12 hours in a particular shift, it was a devastating day, right?
Hmm.
It did not went as you wanted it to be, but then
Hmm.
when you sleep, when you sleep, do you get 5 minutes of your time, do you take 5 minutes of your time to talk to yourself, so that this negativity should not spoil
Hmm.
your subconscious, because your subconscious will work on the last thought that you give it to him,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
So if
Yes.
we are in the stress or whatever disagreements with my boss, with my subordinates, anyone, that should not be the
Hmm.
last thought. The last thought should be that we are talking to ourselves. Whatever happened, it was just a day. Tomorrow is gonna be a wonderful day. Tomorrow is a
Yeah.
beautiful day, right? And I will be
Yeah.
a better
Right.
version of myself than what I am today. So
Right.
basically,
Right.
exactly, when we talk about the mornings, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, as we do affirmation exercise or the
Hmm.
mirror
Hmm.
exercise, that sets the
Hmm.
tone for the day. So do you want to
Absolutely.
highlight something on those topics?
Uh, absolutely yes. Because somehow I feel people think it's very easy to do these things or talk about it, or as the saying goes, easier said than done. But today we are living in the world where there is so much of knowledge accessible, you know. Even if someone has to type about meditation, so there will be like 10,000 playlists of meditation. So, which is the kind of meditation that you want to do?
Mhm.
So, I think the most important thing is that the resources are available with everyone, Jyoti. Everybody has access to them. But the point is, do you really want to make your life good or do you want to live sulking?
Mhm.
It is a matter of choice, I feel. It's people who have to consciously make a choice. The thing is, people are doing things very unconsciously because we have been doing this for so many years that we are treating ourselves like robots. That you get up in the morning, you brush, you have your bath, you have your breakfast, you spend 10 minutes with your family, you go to office, you come back, you crib, you have dinner, you fight or whatever, you have a good time, you go out for dinner, and then you go to sleep, and that's it. Beyond that there is nothing.
Mhm.
Now if people really want to do something, they have to break that circle of life that they are living currently,
Correct.
and it is they who have to take a conscious effort that okay, let me start journaling down for at least 5 minutes, if not 10 minutes, at
Mhm.
least like you have started journaling these days, so at least start writing by three good things or bad things,
Mhm.
and how or what is it that you can do to make it better, or what went well for you today. So
Mhm.
anything that makes your subconscious believe that you are taking an effort, so as long as you are putting that in your subconscious mind, it will work for you.
Mhm.
Because see, when we speak about rewiring, the rewiring and the paradigm shift, like we call it, the conditioning is not just of
Mhm.
today. It's
Mhm.
been of like generations that's being passed on to us.
Mhm.
So for us to come out of it, we have to be patient with our own selves and give ourselves some time to come out of it. So I think it's an effort each one needs to take on their own.
Correct. So, as highlighted by you, Nita, the journaling is really important because that gives an evidence that definitely you have taken actions, and these are the three things that I am grateful for today. These are the three things
Hmm.
which I am able to accomplish. what I
Hmm.
feel about myself, what makes me happy today. So these are the things that
Hmm.
has to be there by end of the day, and that has to be the last thought. What you are trying to do tomorrow, there has to be a planning. So these
Hmm.
are three tasks that
Absolutely.
you want to concentrate on. So what I do is,
Hmm.
emotions definitely is there, because I am
Hmm.
emotional to my career, what I want to do.
Hmm.
As everyone knows, 5 years I spent in law, then in hospitality, mortgage, insurance. So there was a considerable amount of time. Emotions were
Hmm.
there from my, sisters, my family, and everyone, my
Hmm.
friends.
Hmm.
They wanted me to be
Hmm.
there. But stagnancy is something that I am not accustomed to. I have always
Right.
taken a decision, and it was not emotional, but it was my decision. Emotional for
Hmm.
me, but very much, antisocial for others. But that's
Hmm.
okay. I don't care
Right.
what the world thinks of me. What I think
Hmm.
of myself is of utmost importance to me, and that is the
Absolutely. Yes.
that is something that everyone should be. So,
True.
as we talk about the emotions, so we talked about your life wherein you took care of the son. So how do positive emotions like joy, gratitude contribute to a better version of yourself, or contribute to your overall well-being and success? How does it add to it, like joy and gratitude? That is an important part of our lives, right?
True. 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 So they say, the more gratitude that you express, the more you get. Sometimes, we have such simple things around us, like the air that we breathe. I mean, in COVID times, we have seen people struggling just to get a cylinder of oxygen. And so many people even passed away due to that, right? And today, I mean, we have always had oxygen around us. And we never even thanked, that it's been always there around us.
Mm-hmm.
And here people were struggling. So isn't that something so beautiful to give our gratitude to? Though
Mm-hmm.
we can't see it, but it is our source of living, that's what allows us to live each day.
Mm-hmm.
So, trying to look and express your gratitude for things that you have, because if you are not grateful for things that you have, you
Correct.
cannot be grateful for things that you want to bring into your life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people say that it doesn't last very long, or it just came and went. So, and for some people, you say that this guy has a golden touch, or this girl has a golden touch, whatever she touches it turns into gold.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that happening? It happens because certain people have that kind of tuning. They are so grateful, humble, kind, that you will always find these two categories of people, that some are with the golden touch and some are with, like, just the
Mm-hmm.
no touch at all, like nothing works for them.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you give, the more you get. The less you focus on the result, because result is a byproduct of what service you're giving. So if you are giving good service, okay, you're actually helping, whether it's a company or whatever is the business that you're doing. When you're wholeheartedly putting an effort, you are bound to get results for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then people also see not just your work, they also see you as a person, how
Correct.
you talk, how you behave, what is the language that you use, how you respond to pressure situations,
Mm-hmm.
how do you handle, what do you say? Probably if you're having layoffs in your company, so how do you handle that situation?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how do you conduct yourself in these things? So I think all of this plays a huge role in
Mm-hmm.
defining who you are as a person. And yeah, gratitude is the topmost, I feel. Absolutely.
Correct. So,
Goes without saying.
Nita, yeah, so we talked about oxygen. People say, like, we know that 70% of the body is made up of water. Okay,
Hmm.
but 70% water. So there is a coach in our community who have started this particular course, which is based on water, thanking water. That is a water
Hmm.
exercise. So you need to hold the
Hmm.
water, and then you need to be grateful to that. And when this water goes inside your body, how does it react? everything.
Hmm.
So we need to be grateful to
Hmm.
the water. So I know, guys, you all
Hmm.
are appreciating a lot of other forms of liquids, so that is okay.
Hmm.
But having said that, 70% of the body is composed of water. We should be
Hmm.
grateful to what we are consuming on a day-to-day basis. The same goes for our food for thought also. Whatever we are watching on Netflix or Amazon or
Hmm.
wherever.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
instead of watching, investing these your time, valuable time into these things, we should be that much emotionally intelligent to think about
Hmm.
our well-being. If we could
Hmm.
have done something else, in the sense you could have read 5 or 10 pages of a book, which you
Hmm.
would have loved reading, which you have postponing from ages. Now, being grateful. So I got reminded of a beautiful instance. In one of the organizations, I had this particular person who was
Hmm.
promoted from a team leader to assistant manager. Okay, so the
Hmm.
job responsibility was the same. But the point here was, so he was called on the stage and he was given this certificate that you have been promoted as an AM, assistant manager. How do you feel about it? So he was so dull. There was no excitement in whatever he is getting. At least show some gratitude to the designation, because that is a
Right. Right.
increase in your compensation, increase in your
Absolutely.
designation, right? And
Hmm.
definitely that elevates your state of mind. So there was
Hmm.
no particular thing. And when we happened to talk to this person outside, once he came back from the stage,
Hmm.
when we
Hmm.
talked, so he was like, "So what's the big deal? We have to again come to work tomorrow. We have to again go into the same shed tomorrow." So that is the thought process that we are carrying. We are not appreciating the job
Absolutely.
that we have, because
Hmm. Hmm.
Anita, I had conversations with a lot of people on all the social media wherein people are asking that I need a job, even if it is for 15,000 or 20,000. I need a job, and when we have such a prestigious job that is giving us handsome remuneration, we are not appreciating that. So
True.
definitely we are not happy to the state
Hmm.
we can be because of our own actions, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then people keep fighting for, I want more, but what is this more? They don't know. They are not able to identify it. You know. So I think a lot of people also think that earning more money makes them happy, but even that doesn't bring you happiness at the end. It's only you as a person that can bring yourself happiness or sadness.
Yes, if money could be the source of income, source of happiness, then definitely all the big shots over there, all the actors, all the actors, may basically in today's industry in Bollywood, all the actors would have been really happy. But everyone knows what is going
Absolutely.
on behind the scenes,
True.
right? So
True.
whatever
True.
we have, we should be happy about it. We should feel emotional with that. If we have
Hmm.
emotions attached to certain things, that's when results come. Correct?
True. 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 Absolutely right.
Yes, and Neeta, we also talked about, we created a group for people who want to elevate themselves from this level to that level, right? So it all depends
Hmm.
upon which state of mind you spend most of your time. Are you happy? Are you feeling
Hmm.
happy? Even
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
universe is trying to give you everything, whatever you want. Are you actually
Hmm.
happy? Are you actually grateful? Are you feeling joyous
Hmm.
about it? So we are there to
Hmm.
help you go to that level wherein you can enjoy your happiness, whatever you are. You can enjoy yourself as a person to
Hmm.
be successful, whatever the nightmares that you had. I want to become this.
Hmm.
But once you get
Hmm.
up in the morning, forget it. Nahi ho payega. We will not be able to
Hmm.
do it. So these are the thoughts that
Right.
come. So because of that,
Right.
Neeta has created an awesome group. That's a WhatsApp group. And if anyone would like to be a part of, would like to understand how exactly we need to work on ourselves to be a better version of ourselves, you all are free to join that group. So Neeta, a little bit about the group. What was the intention for creating that group?
Wow. So the biggest intention behind creating this group was, first of all, to create a safe space for people to come and talk about what is it that they are feeling, what is it that they are going through. And secondly, I wanted to build a supportive community where we can be always accessible and, reach out to people and support them with whatever they are dealing with, uh, s- I think support is very important over here, because a lot of times people just want to be heard, you know they just want someone who can listen to them and talk to them without the fear of judging them or questioning them. And in today's busy world, in this rat race for everything that we are doing,
Mhm.
we just need a good, quiet, genuine place where people can come and showcase their emotions as they are.
Mhm.
And that was the intention of creating this. And of course, as coaches, we are there to mentor them and support them and guide them. So any of those who are interested in seeking out support or reaching out to any one of us, they can feel free to come and talk to us about whatever are the issues that they're dealing with. And we can always support them and mentor them and give them a roadmap about how things can work for you and be better for you. But then at the end of it, the decision maker is that person, himself or herself. We can an ear to listen to them, with them to change their life and their results. They are the ones who have to take actions for it. So that's what this WhatsApp group is about, being
Mhm.
supportive and creating a safe community for people around us.
Correct. So, any one of you, if you feel like, if you don't even feel like, because when I was in a job, I did not have that understanding that I have so much capabilities or I want to do something else. Because Neeta, you know what happens in when you are at a particular place, right? You are a particular designation, be a manager, assistant manager, CEO, whatever designation you are holding. So you are surrounded by people of that particular mentality. So in order to
Hmm.
change your mentality or to change your state of mind, you have to be someone who is already there, and that person can take you or push you from here to there, right? So basically,
True, true,
if
true.
you are surrounded by these people who are your day-to-day masterminds, we cannot call them
Hmm.
masterminds, they are your buddy groups. So we need to change the buddy groups, right? We need, actually don't need to change, but you can seek to be aloof from that particular toxic
Hmm.
conversation, and
Hmm.
better talk to someone who can give you guidance, or
Hmm.
better just be yourself. Sit in the cafeteria,
True,
just sit with yourself. Don't need to be a part of a conversation wherein you need to make your presence felt. That is not the
true,
outcome that we are looking for right now.
true, 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 true.
Correct.
And also, it's more about, like you said, we want to create a community of like-minded people who will hold each other accountable. So it's not just the responsibility of you and me as coaches, but the people who are going to be a part of this community. I would want them also to take the ownership, of their actions, come out and help another person, because the joy of helping someone or supporting someone
Mhm.
is something different. It makes you feel so good and accomplished within you. You
Right.
feel that wow, you this. There was this very nice word that they use these days. I forget it. Oxytocin. The
Mhm.
dopamine that is. So it gives out that feeling of happiness that you have done something good for someone, an act of goodness for someone. And even when you're doing an act of goodness for someone, and as the person who is just sitting back and seeing this action happening,
Mhm.
even we feel good that okay, we have built such a good community where people are wanting to reach out there and help each other. So yeah, accountability and the mindset to uplift each other,
Mhm.
you know and
Mhm.
that's the reason for this community. And I think that's a very good initiative that you, me, and our third buddy Sanshil, we have taken.
Mhm.
And kudos to three of us for doing this work.
Yeah, and we are anticipating that it's not that you have to be joining the program, you have to join the program, but it is something that you need to be aware of your own self, your own thought process, how it impacts you in your day-to-day life, right? So if you want to get in, just join the community. If you want to get in touch with me, Neeta, Sanshil, any one of us, you are free to do that. So Neeta, when we talk about emotions, it's about maybe our job, maybe our work life, maybe our relationships. But what do you think? These emotions affect our relationship with our family, friends, colleagues, and basically there has to be some strategies that we should deploy if we want that emotional state of mind to be handled in a positive way. Or maybe if we don't, I don't bother what people think of me, I don't bother. But there are people who does matter to others, right? So how
Mhm.
what are the strategies that you think should not impact this person also, and I can put up my point what I want to do?
I think that the second part will come under the power of communication, which we should be covering it in one of the upcoming episodes.
Uh-huh.
But the other part where you said, how do we deal with emotions impacting our families? So there's a very very good story that I can share. So there was this poor man living in the 60s. Okay, this is the story of the 60s. So this guy was poor. He used to work in the mill, and his wife used to just work in the farms and all. And they would have very probably like a decent two-time meal. They would have not a very great food, but decent two-time meal. And the kids would every day wait, for their father to come home, because he would come home and tell them stories. So what they used to notice is, when the father was coming home, just before he entered the home, he used to remove his coat, which he was not wearing actually. But he used to pretend removing this coat and hanging it out on the tree. Okay. So one fine day, the daughter got curious, So she asked, Dad, I see you every day, you're coming. And just before you enter the house, you remove this coat, but you're not even wearing one. So she said, What is it that you keep removing and hanging it outside? So he said, I remove the coat of my stress, my worries, my office tensions, and I hang it over there. And then I enter the house just as a dad. I am not entering over there as an employee, as a person who is angry on his colleague, or whatever is going on in his life, work life. He leaves all of those worries behind, and then he enters with a completely free mind that this is my family and I need to do this for them. And that built, first of all, a very strong relationship between him and his children, because he was not venting out his frustrations on his children or on his wife. He was appreciating, asking them, How was your day? And I think at the end of the day, that's what your family also expects from you, because uh, come to think of it, the men are also doing their role by going to office and earning the bread for the family. But at the same time, it's the wives also who are balancing it out by not only cooking food, but they're also taking care of the parents, they're managing the house, they're managing the children, and a lot of other things that the homemakers handle. So just glorifying one side, I think so, is not really doing justice. But it's a balance of both people that makes a healthy home atmosphere, is what I would say. So uh, I know there are a lot of men I have seen with my friends, who are dealing with their stress in this way. Because whatever is the issue that you're facing with, now that you are at home,
Mhm.
is it going to solve any purpose? It's not going to solve. But
Mhm.
so why ruin the day of your children who have been waiting, or why ruin the day of your wife or your parents who have been looking up for you to come back home and have a good chat over a cup of tea or dinner?
Mhm.
So I think it has to be a more conscious effort from the
Mhm.
men, I feel.
Mhm.
With all due respect to them, that they need to find certain ways of how better they can handle these things. And of course there are
Mhm.
ways and means to handle the stress, and we are there to support. But yeah, this story always reminds me of leave your worries behind, and like you constantly mention, live mindfulness in that present moment. Your
Mhm.
children coming and hugging you is your present moment.
Mhm.
So
Correct.
your wife cooking warm dinner for you is your present moment. So appreciate, like we were talking about gratitude. So give your gratitude that you have children who, wait for you to come back home, who love you. To your
Mhm.
wife, who waits for you to come and have dinner together, your parents who, so there is so much around us, to actually be thankful and grateful for.
Mhm.
Worries keep coming and keep going, they'll always be there,
Mhm.
but one just needs to understand the art of handling these situations. I think
Mhm.
we got too carried away with the topic.
Yeah. So, Neeta, yeah, beautifully explained. When I just raised this question because, we are talking about the adults who are maybe in their 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s. Every time people think that they need to elevate their state of mind, they need to be happy and they need to be emotional with their family, they need to do this, that, XYZ things. But when we talk about, the children who are just growing up, so I had this beautiful child who was just 15 years of age, and she needed assistance with what she wants to do. She was not clear. Mom used to say that you will be an engineer. Okay, engineer. Dad used to say you will be a digital entrepreneur. So she was like, I will be digital. But she was not clear. And that's when my coach came into picture. When, you have to, when you go through who you are, when are you happy, what makes you happy, what describes you, once you understand your your wholesomeness, that's when you are able to make decisions, and those decisions happens to be very smooth. So it is very important for our parents also to understand that if there is a growing child and the child needs support, it's not Nita, as we said in our last conversation also, people think in India there is a notion that they think that coaching is something like you are going to a psychologist or a therapist. So it is not like that. The now the taboo is changing, and even the top CEOs, top HOs of any organization, even the top notch market are needing coaches nowadays. Ritik Roshan is a coach of our industry, and Shah Rukh Khan's son, he's also going through
Yeah,
the coaching sessions to become a better version of someone. Yeah.
true,
So
true.
basically, everyone, if they need some sort of support, you are free to approach any one of us. And even for your children, this goes for your children because right now we all are parents, right? So, Neeta, your son has been already in class 10th. So, you know what are the ups and downs. You being a coach, you are able to manage effectively, right? But I am
I was
just
not a coach then. I was not a coach
yes,
then.
yes, but that understanding was always there.
Right.
There was a calling that you will be eventually that particular person. So it's a
True.
beautiful saying, Nita. When I became a leader, I was shouting on the floor that I became a team leader. I became a team leader. Then one of my managers
Right.
told me,
Huh.
calm down, sit here, just
Hmm.
relax.
Hmm.
You are a team leader by designation that the
Hmm.
organization offered you. But once
Hmm.
people accept you, that's when you become a team leader. Okay, exactly the case.
True. True.
You were already there because you were already handling these things, and eventually you went out for your calling. So your calling was to help
Yeah.
others, and that's how you became a life
Absolutely.
coach. So basically,
Hmm.
there are children who are in class 10th, 11th, 12th graduation, or they are opting to do a job. And
Hmm.
most of the times, like 80% of the times, it is because of their family. They want to do a job.
Hmm.
Actually, they
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to do a job. Did you have an honest conversation with your son or daughter that are they actually happy be going to that job day in and day out, or they are just taking up their responsibilities? So we are not saying
Hmm.
that taking up responsibility is not good. Definitely, you
Hmm.
should always inspire someone or ask someone to take up the responsibilities. But
Hmm.
if they are starting up their career, so we got we came to this particular profession after a long time. But basically, if we can give a solid start to this generation who is right now coming, then nothing better
True.
than this. What are your thoughts, Nita, on this?
Absolutely. Uh, so when my son was giving his 10th standard, when he was in his 10th standard, I conducted one session in this school actually, moving in with confidence, okay, and getting rid of your fears.
I told you,
Okay,
you were already there.
thank you. So, and I just wanted to figure out what is it that these children are thinking, okay, and how I can make them get rid of the fear because uh, there is so much of pressure to bring certain level of grades. There is a benchmark set for certain percentage that you receive. Then which stream are you taking, whether it's science or commerce or arts? Then you are judged on the basis of stream also. You know,
Mhm.
so there were. I realized that there was a lot of pressure that these children were going through. Uh, a lot of them didn't want to take a particular stream, but they were under so much of pressure from their parents that they made a choice that all right, I will go to science, okay, or I will go to arts. And thirdly, the fear of just getting into 10th standard and appearing for the board exams, that was another fear that these children were having. So for me to interact with them and talk to them was a very eye-opening session because it made me see their fears from their eyes, okay, and what they go through at that phase.
Mhm.
That was very eye-opening. So I'm glad actually that I could play a small part in their lives, where I made them how they can shift their thoughts, okay,
Mhm.
how they can overcome these fears, and what are the strategies that they can use to cope up with these fears. So that was what the entire session was about. And lastly, I will just say is, you know uh, because when my son was going through this phase and because he was being so bullied, it affected his studies as well.
Mhm.
So uh, because emotionally he was not in a very good place, he would get low marks in the school also.
Mhm.
And not only that, he was also being judged by his teachers that he is good for nothing, okay. uh, and what's the point of paying attention in him because he's going to flunk any which ways. And I
Mhm.
was appalled with that kind of a mindset of the teachers actually.
Mhm.
But once I made the change in him, I started working with him, giving
Mhm.
him my what I can't tell you, I gave him my wholehearted attention for the next 3 years.
Mhm.
uh, and that boy, not only, I mean, he used to score just 3 or 4 marks in maths.
Okay.
It's not that he used to hate the subject, he used to
Mhm.
love maths at one point of time.
Mhm.
But because there was so much of judging, he
Mhm.
started hating the subject.
Yeah.
And when he scored a 70% in CBSE, I was like, how the hell could anybody judge him, If only, he would have got the right push, the
Mhm.
right, what do you say,
Guidance.
guidance, yeah, the right guidance, the right way of, moving through this,
Mhm.
instead of focusing on what he's not good at.
Mhm.
They could have focused on what he's good at, or how can we change our teaching methods so that the child understands. So this is not just about my child. I think there are a lot of children who go through this phase where they don't understand a certain subject and they end up hating it. So it's not really due to the subject, it's because the way it's being taught to them.
And Neeta,
But
as you said, you were there to take care of his what he's going through at that particular moment or in that particular phase. But right now in today's society, I have a lot of friends, be it females or male, they both are working. Both are working, and they have a full-time maid sitting at home who is taking care. But the parenting that parents can give, definitely a house help cannot give that sort of parenting. So in that particular situation, it is very important to put the child into correct guidance. As Neeta said, success is not just about grades; it's about mindset. So we basically work on fostering a success mindset in students, teaching them the importance of perseverance, adaptability, and a positive attitude to accept the things in all aspects of the life.
absolutely well said. And the demands of the societies are such, or the ways of life are such, that these days, it's nuclear families and both parents are working. But then again, if you as a parent are bringing your work home, you know, and the child has been waiting throughout the day for you to come back home so that then he can, comfortably sit and have a conversation with you. But if you are not going to entertain that conversation, and if you are going to shoo him or her away,
Mhm.
the child is going to grow up as an adult who is going to seek out attention.
Correct.
And
And
for
then,
and he it may not be the right ways to seek out attention, but it is because what he or she went through the childhood. So I think even as parents, people need to be a bit more careful about how they are dividing their work life and personal life, how much time they are giving to the children,
mhm,
uh, and whether they are spending what is good quality time. Good quality time is taking some time out listening to your child,
mhm,
you yourself being a child at times, you don't have to be a
mhm.
parent all the time. You have to let your inner child out, play with your child, go down, go for a walk, get rid of your mobile for some time, get rid of your laptops for some time, because tomorrow when these children grow up and go away, you're going to look at your empty house, and you're going to regret, I wish I could have spent more time. So instead of regretting when you're in your 60s, enjoy when you're still in your 30s and 40s.
Wow, beautifully said, Neeta. So basically, the role of the life coach is to inspire and guide everyone on their journey of self discovery, personal development, and definitely when we talk about students, their academic excellence. So we are
Hmm.
committed to nurture your potential, empower you to overcome obstacles, and that is very important when we talk about the children of this age who are going through their mid 20s, or maybe the mid 18, 17, 19 of that particular age. They actually need guidance from someone, and most of the times it so happens that if both husband and wife are busy, children tend to go into the direction which is later on not appreciated by parents. So it is better to take care of them in the best possible way, or give them proper guidance so that they can boom in whatever industry they want to go. So we look forward.
And they are the future, and they are the future of our nation. So it's very very critical that we nurture them in the right way, and we show them the pros and the cons of every actions that they are doing, so
Correct.
we should give them also the strength of decision making also, that what is the power of decision making and how do you evaluate things. These are two three things I feel as parents we should be teaching to our children, because if we want our country to be strong, okay, we need to raise strong children
Wow.
emotionally, okay, not just with education, strong emotions, because if you can't handle your emotions, people are going to take you for a ride for sure.
Correct, and
And
help them become well-rounded individuals who are prepared to take on the world. So, Neeta, it is a very, it is said in most of the, videos that I have watched. Don't compliment your children by their appearance. You look beautiful, you look handsome, but compliment them with characteristics. You are
true, true.
brave, you are strong, you are
Hmm.
intelligent, and all these adjectives that we should be using with the children, instead of you are, because that will create a biasness, white or black, and all these things that should not be there. When we talk about appearance, so everyone is beautiful in their own way, definitely, but we should be appreciating our children on the basis of the characteristics that they hold.
Okay, I think Rajesh Nair has written nice. Divya, I want to first of all thank you. I'm glad these points resonated with you. Rajesh, I agree that school is a destroyer, but I wouldn't completely 100% agree, because schooling is basically the foundation that lays for us, that gives us ideas of what we can do with our education, and what are the things that we need to do later on in our life. Yeah, now if you are speaking in terms of creating and developing the child's personality, I think yeah, most of the schools lack, because no importance is given in terms of financial education. There is no importance given in terms of public speaking or having great communication skills. There is no study, or there is no such subject about emotional intelligence. But these are the individuals who, when they grow up and go into jobs, you know because they we have not learned these things, and when you are suddenly out there in a space where you are not protected by your parents or your so-called favorite teachers, that is when the child feels lost. I mean, that it's not a child anymore, it's a young adult, but that is where these young adults feel lost, and because they feel lost, they don't know what to do, and they come out with different defense mechanisms, I would say. So this defense mechanism could be anger outbursts, or ending up hitting your spouse or whatever, or angry verbal outbursts. So to avoid these kind of things, uh, first of all, the screen time needs to be reduced, the mindless scrolling needs to be reduced. And even if it's not being taught in school, I think it is our responsibility as parents that we take half an hour out from our lives. They're our children, okay? So if we want them to be strong mentally, physically, and emotionally, it's our duty to nurture them and help them channelize their emotions, and help them recognize and also embrace their emotions. Embracing is the most important part, I feel.
Correct, Neeta. As he highlighted, I think school is the biggest destroyer of curiosity. So I can think of, a lot of instances wherein we used to ask questions to the teachers, and the teachers used to tell, "How many questions you ask, man? How many questions? Why so many whys?" So that's what he meant actually, and I can so much connect to it. And the last statement that you have mentioned, I'm thinking maybe schooling does more harm than good, especially because the curriculum is so disconnected from the real world. Basically, you know why? Because if you, as Albert Einstein rightly said, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will sulk entire life thinking that I'm not good enough. And that's what exactly is happening. There are
Yeah.
number one, number two, number three. These are the grades that they get. Right now, they have beautifully converted into A, B, and C. In our time, it was
Hmm.
98%,
I know.
97%, 60%,
Yeah, yeah.
40%.
Hmm.
So at
Hmm.
that point in time, the person who is a mediocre, he have accepted that I am a mediocre. Okay, but the person who is at the bottom used to always feel that I am good for nothing. I'm good for nothing. That particular zone used to, and that make people get into a lot of negative things. And even the who is coming the second, who is the second boy in the school or second girl in the school, they used to have a grievance or jealousy with the first one, and they will have a very not healthy fight, but very nasty fight. That fight should not be there,
Yeah.
right? And that's the only reason why now it has been changed to grades. So that is a very positive thing. So thanks a lot, Rajesh and Divya. That was very beautiful, Neeta. So thanks a lot, Neeta. So I think we have exceeded 8 minutes and a beautiful conversation, Neeta. We will be again live, and today is the fifth session for us. We will be live Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. So stay tuned in with another interesting topic that will be of utmost importance and help to every one of you. Yes,
And
Neeta.
we are also coming live in the next half an hour on Clubhouse. Jyoti, do share the link in the comment section so
Yes.
those interested can come and hear the conversation. We'll be speaking about the gap between knowing and the gap between doing, and how can one bridge this gap. So it's going to be a very, very interesting conversation. So if you like this idea, please do join us over there today.
Okay, Neeta, thank you so much. And I'm sure many of our viewers will be joining in. And stay tuned in, everyone. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Thanks, Neeta, for your
Thank
wonderful
you.
contribution. Take care.
Bye.